How we doing today?
Good.
Good. All right, to start this off, I just wanted to say, first of all, as an offense, I don't believe that we played our best ball this past weekend. Our guys know that, they feel that. One thing that I will say, I'm proud of the fact that our guys are learning how to find ways to win. They're learning to strain the finish when things are not perfect. One thing I'm not going to do, there's no excuses for the lack of performance. Our coaching staff have addressed all of the issues. We'll continue to address it. We're going to continue to coach our guys up, and our guys are energized and they're ready to come out and redeem themselves. But we understand that we got to focus on the details moving forward. So with that in mind, let's keep it. I'm all ears here.
Let's go first to Todd Lebo. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Coach, I wonder when you get in a game like that where everything's not going exactly like you want, you found yourself maybe having to dig a little deeper in the playbook when you guys got down to the red zone. How do you kind of get the feel for the game when you need to go for some of those kind of plays instead of the regular stuff?
Well, what you do, you just go back to the things that you guys can just dial up and just go and line up and play. They can line up and execute a play that we may haven't practiced or ran in a while, but those guys know it inside out. And then at the end of the day, we just got to make sure that we're playing assignment sound ball, regardless of what we call. And for whatever reason, we just wasn't at our best. But I will say this, and I'm going to say it again. I'm proud of the fact that we're learning how to strain the finish when things are not perfect.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Eric. I got a couple of questions for you today. The first one being, Andy made the comment after the game Monday night that there was a lot you guys can learn from that tape. Do you agree with him? And even in general terms, what did you guys learn from that particular tape? And Brad, I'll have one quick follow-up when we're done.
Okay. Well, first of all, there is a lot to learn. One thing that you can learn, first of all, as an offense, we got to learn to be more patient. Okay. We have to be willing to drive the length of the field. We got to take exactly what is there. On top of that, we just got to make sure that we're doing all the little things that are necessary to help us to be productive. There's an offensive lineman taking the correct footwork, a back taking the correct footwork, and aiming run game. Pat being disciplined with his eyes and seeing reads downfield. Okay, receivers making sure they're getting the proper depth. So there's a lot of little things that we can learn from what took place this weekend. And the thing about it, our guys are smart enough and they're sharp enough. They're sound football players and they understand that, it wasn't good enough. So everybody's taking a look at within. Now our coaching staff, we're addressing it and making sure that those details are much better this week.
Okay. And the other thing was, you remember after the Houston game, we asked you about your troubles running the ball in the goal-to-go situations near the goal line. Mm-hmm. Now, it's been only a couple times since, but it doesn't appear that things have gotten a lot better in that regard. I mean, is that you still have a lot of work to do, do you feel like, in that area with Clyde, or are you guys making progress even though the results haven't been there?
We're always working to get better. Yes, we still need to continue to be the very best that we can. At the end of the day, it's our job to make sure that we're putting our guys in the right position. But on top of that, it's making sure that our guys understand exactly what we want. But when it's all said and done with, in that particular that moment of truth time, it's about our attitude and our determined mindset to make it happen. So we just got to keep finding ways to strain, to finish, to make sure that we're doing everything under the sun to make it right.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, I'm just curious. I asked this of Steve Spagnuolo and what he did. You guys have a schedule for everything, right? I know you've been through a Saturday game, a Sunday game, a Thursday game, but you don't usually have it, change on you last minute. So you got an extra day. What do you do with that extra day? Do you dig in on the Raiders? Do you look ahead to Buffalo because that's a short week? What do you do with that extra day when you get it, out of the blue?
So I'll let you in on a little secret here. First of all, I've been a part of a few of those games with the Minnesota Vikings. I think we had a home game in Detroit one year, I think on a Tuesday or a Friday. We played at the University of Minnesota. So one thing you learn in this profession is to always remain flexible, okay? Especially with everything that we're dealing with. And with what happened this particular week, no, I'm not a guy that's going to look ahead, because one thing I want to do, I always want to focus on the task. Our staff will start ahead. I just want to make sure that I got all these particular plays and situations in my head so I don't cloud that particular vision. But I got to let you in a little secret. I took a nap and it felt damn good. So we played on Monday night. Hey, a national crowd. We got to play and put on a performance. I know everybody wasn't happy with the performance, but a win is a win. But the next thing, hey, we lose a day. It's okay. We grind. This is what we do. We get back to it, you know, and it's all about the Raiders right now. Oh, and one more thing too. It's all about the Raiders, and we're 1 week from kickoff against Buffalo. So
let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Eric, I wanted to ask you about the tight end position behind Travis. You've had 4 games to assess Nick Keiser so far. Deion Yelder got some snaps last week. We haven't seen Ricky Seals-Jones in the offense. Where would you evaluate that position right now, 4 weeks into the season?
You know what? I think we're solid at our depth. I mean, Nick has done a heck of a job of playing. Deion Yelder set himself back in camp. He has some things that he was dealing with, but we got some pretty good young players. We're satisfied with the guys that we have. Now, each and every one of them, and even our position coach would tell you, including Kels, they all can play a little bit better. We all got to continue to keep focusing on all the little details to help us to do certain things to maximize us to be the best that we can be. But at the end of the day, we're satisfied with the guys. And on top of that, those guys are doing a hell of a job of working their tails off and then stepping up and doing some good things in the game as well.
Let's go next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, AB, how you doing?
Doing good.
Hey, I'm good. You mentioned the guys have been resilient in fighting back, and you had a couple games like that, even looking back at last season. And I mean, you guys can score in bunches, but how do you make sure these guys don't get complacent with coming back to win a game?
This right foot and this left foot. So you missed that, huh? But
No,
anyway,
I got you.
Here's how you do it. You make sure, okay, because we've been around these guys for a long time. At the end of the day, we just want to make sure that our guys see exactly what we're seeing, okay? And on top of that, we have a bunch of professional players that understands exactly what it takes to be at their best. And so these guys know when they're not playing very well. And one thing our guys understand is they have to be humble, all right? So humility with dignity, all right? Being humble enough, all right? But also understanding that, hey, I have to be dignified to whereas I have to accept this criticism to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. So we got a great coaching staff that's going to address all the little things that need to be addressed. Okay. We're going to focus on the details. It's all about being fundamentally sound. And then when it's all said and done with, like I always tell the guys, regardless of what you're being coached to do, it requires no God-given ability to play with second effort. So our guys are going to go out there and maximize the effort. This is why we've had those great games, because it hasn't always been perfect, but the effort has been there for us to find a way to win.
Got time for 2 more. Let's go Pete and then Sam. Go ahead, Pete.
I was wondering, what have you learned over the course of now 3 years under Andy Reid when it comes to both play design and game planning? And then furthermore, if you were trying to think about like what your players would describe you as, what do you think that they would say after playing for you?
Well, that last question is a trick question. I'm not going to answer that one. But I've learned a lot coaching under Coach Reid, and it just doesn't all have to do with football. You know, there's things that how you handle yourself as a man in this world, as an employee, how you treat people. All right. On top of that, you know, obviously working with him and hand in hand, just some of the things that I can't reveal all of the secrets, but, you know, just understanding what you're good at and one of the things that you want to go out and attack when game planning. And so it's about making sure that you're utilizing all your personnel the correct way and giving those guys to go out there and be their best. And on top of that, allowing their personalities to show. So one thing that you learn is it's all about dealing with people and having great people skills to maximize who they are so they can be the very best that they can be.
Let's go last to Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Eric, this might sound a little bit off the wall, but in the game the other night, you had everything but bubble wrap. You had like 2 masks, goggles, face shield, and all that. Was that a response to the positive test you guys had or something else? I'm just curious what went into that.
For more than anything, I just wanted to try the shield. And I had the mask on, and I know my mother was happy. So, and my wife was happy as well. So, but no particular reason, just making sure that I'm doing my due diligence. That's all.